All right, welcome everyone. Get ready to dive deep into the extremes of the universe.
That's right. We're going to be looking at the fastest, the smallest, the biggest things out there.
I am so pumped for this one. We've got some incredible sources lined up.
Yeah, it's going to be a wild ride through the scales of the universe.
We're talking about sizes and speeds that are almost impossible to imagine.
From the tiniest things, like, have you heard of the Planck length?
Oh yeah, the Planck length. That's like, whoa, it's so small.
It's almost impossible to even comprehend.
To the absolutely massive, the entire observable universe.
The observable universe, that's a big one.
So we'll be exploring these extremes.
In terms of speed and then also physical size.
Exactly. And you might be surprised by some of the things on the list.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, when you think about the fastest thing out there, what comes to mind?
A rocket ship. A cheetah.
Those are fast, for sure, but they're not even close to the real speed demons of the universe.
Okay, so what is? Spill the beans.
Well, when it comes to pure speed, nothing beats light.
Light. Like the stuff we see with.
The very same. And that includes the gravitational waves it creates.
Okay, so we're talking about photons.
Right, those little packets of energy that make up light.
And gravitational waves, which are like ripples in the fabric of space-time.
Exactly. Both of those travel at the mind-blowing speed of light.
Chess.
About 670.6 million miles per hour.
Whoa.
Yeah.
I can't even imagine going that fast.
It's so fast that a beam of light could circle the Earth over 7 times in just 1 second.
In 1 second. That's insane.
And here's the thing. According to Einstein's theory of relativity,
Oh yeah, Einstein the genius.
nothing with mass can travel at or faster than the speed of light.
So light is the ultimate speed limit.
As far as we know, yep.
But wait, what about those subatomic particles we hear about?
You mean like neutrinos?
Yeah, neutrinos. Don't they get pretty close to the speed of light?
They do. Neutrinos are these tiny, almost massless particles.
And they're produced in stars and other cosmic events.
Right. And they can zip through almost anything, even passing right through us all the time.
Seriously. Right through us. That's wild.
So they don't quite reach the speed of light because they do have a little bit of mass.
But they come incredibly close.
So close that it really makes you wonder about the limits of speed.
It's like the universe is teasing us with the possibility of breaking that cosmic speed limit.
Maybe one day we'll figure out how to do it, but for now, light reigns supreme.
Okay, so we've talked about the cosmic speedsters.
The fastest things in the universe.
But what about things we've built here on Earth? What are some of the fastest speeds we've achieved with technology?
Well, satellites, for instance, those can travel at thousands of miles per hour.
That's how we have GPS and communication networks that span the globe.
Precisely. And then there are rockets, those powerful machines that carry us into space.
I love rockets. They can reach speeds of, what, around 15,000 miles per hour during their flights?
That's about right. Incredibly fast, of course, but still just a tiny fraction of the speed of light.
It really puts things in perspective, doesn't it?
Absolutely. But even without reaching those cosmic speeds, there's some incredible speed to be found right here in the animal kingdom.
Oh yeah, for sure. Like cheetahs, the fastest land animals.
They can reach speeds of up to 75 miles per hour in short bursts.
That's faster than most cars on the highway.
And then there's the peregrine falcon.
The fastest diving bird.
Mm.
They can hit speeds of over 200 miles per hour as they swoop down to catch their prey.
It's an incredible sight to see.
And if we head into the ocean, the sailfish is one of the fastest fish in the sea.
They can reach speeds up to 68 miles per hour, just zipping through the water.
It's amazing how life on Earth has evolved to achieve such incredible speeds.
It really shows you the power of adaptation and the diversity of life on our planet.
All right, so we've explored the incredibly fast, but now get ready for a mind-bending shift in scale.
We're about to dive into the realm of the incredibly small, things so tiny they challenge our very understanding of size and space.
This is where we enter the quantum realm.
A place where the rules of physics as we know them start to break down.
And it all starts with a truly mind-boggling concept, the Planck length.
You got it. The Planck length is the smallest possible unit of length in physics.
Okay, so how small are we talking here?
It's about 1.6 by 1035 meters.
10 to the power of negative 35. That's like unimaginably small.
It's billions of times smaller than the diameter of a proton.
Wow. So is there anything that actually exists at that scale?
Well, it's thought that at the Planck scale, the distinction between particles and spacetime itself might break down.
So it's like the universe gets all fuzzy at that level.
Kinda, yeah. But we do find some of the smallest known things at scales just a bit larger than the Planck length.
What kind of things?
Subatomic particles like quarks and leptons.
Okay, remind me. Quarks and leptons, those are.
Quarks are the building blocks of protons and neutrons, which are found in the nucleus of an atom.
And leptons include things like electrons and those speedy neutrinos we talked about earlier.
Exactly. And these particles are considered to be point particles,
Point particles.
meaning they have virtually no size at all, at least according to our current understanding of physics.
So they're like infinitely small.
Well, not infinitely, but incredibly, incredibly small.
Wow. That's hard to wrap my head around.
It is, but it's also pretty amazing.
So we've got these tiny particles that make up everything else.
And if we zoom out just a bit, we come to atoms.
Atoms, the building blocks of all matter.
Right. Atoms are still incredibly small, but they're much larger than those subatomic particles we were just talking about.
But still too small to see with the naked eye.
Oh, absolutely. To put it into perspective, a single human hair is about 100,000 atoms wide.
100,000 atoms
Yeah.
in one hair. That's mind-blowing.
It really is. But let's keep moving up the scale.
What about things that are too small to see with the naked eye, but still play a huge role in our world?
Like viruses?
Viruses, exactly. They're these tiny packets of genetic material that can only replicate inside a host cell.
And they can cause some pretty nasty diseases.
But they're also essential for life on Earth in some ways.
That's true. And they're tiny, ranging in size from about 20 to 300 nanometers.
Still unbelievably small, but larger than those subatomic particles we were talking about.
Right. And then there are bacteria, those single-celled microorganisms that are everywhere.
In the soil, in the water, even inside our own bodies.
They're essential for life on Earth, but they can also cause disease.
And they're typically larger than viruses, right?
Yes, bacteria are typically larger than viruses, ranging from 0.5 to 5 micrometers in length.
So we've got viruses, we've got bacteria.
And another example of a really small cell is the red blood cell,
One of the smallest cells in the human body.
at about 7 micrometers in diameter.
And those tiny cells are responsible for carrying oxygen throughout our bodies.
It's amazing how such small things can play such important roles.
It really is. Okay, so we've talked about cells, but what about actual organisms?
Like whole creatures that are super small.
Yeah. Are there any animals or plants that are just incredibly tiny?
Oh, absolutely. There are some truly tiny insects, like certain species of wasps and beetles.
Some of them are less than 0.3 millimeters long.
That's smaller than the period at the end of this sentence.
Wow, and what about reptiles? Are there any tiny reptiles?
Some gecko species are only about 3 centimeters long.
That's smaller than my thumb.
And then there are the smallest mammals, like bumblebee bats and certain shrew species.
They can be less than 10 centimeters long. That's so tiny.
And let's not forget about plants. Dwarf watermeal plants are among the smallest flowering plants.
They're just a few millimeters across.
It's just incredible how such tiny organisms can exist.
And they play such important roles in their ecosystems.
Absolutely. It really makes you appreciate the diversity of life on Earth, from the almost unimaginably small to the things we can see and interact with every day.
Okay, so we've explored the incredibly fast and the incredibly small.
What do you say we shift gears and blast off into the realm of the truly gigantic?
Bring on the biggest things in the universe. I'm ready to be awestruck.
All right, then hold on tight, because we're about to embark on a journey through size and scale that will leave you speechless.
Okay, so we're talking big, like really big.
The biggest of the big.
We got to start with the ultimate heavyweight champ, right?
You're talking about the observable universe,
The observable universe, the whole shebang.
encompassing everything we can see from our tiny little spot here on Earth.
It's hard to even imagine how big that is.
Well, it's estimated to be, get this, 93 billion light years in diameter.
93 billion light years.
Light years, yeah.
And that's just the part we can see.
That's the mind-blowing part, right?
Yeah, so there could be even more out there.
Scientists believe the universe extends far beyond what we can observe.
Wow, that's just, I don't even have words.
It really stretches the imagination, doesn't it?
It makes you feel pretty small, that's for sure.
It does, but in a kind of cool way.
Yeah, it's like humbling,
Humbling, exactly.
but also exciting. All those mysteries out there waiting to be discovered.
Absolutely. And within this vast expanse, we find these colossal structures known as galactic superclusters.
Superclusters,
Yeah, they're like giant clusters of galaxies.
all bound together by gravity.
Exactly. It's like, imagine cosmic cities made of galaxies.
Whoa, okay, that's a wild image.
Like, take the Laniakea supercluster, for example.
Laniakea.
Laniakea, yeah, that's the supercluster that our own Milky Way galaxy is part of,
No way.
along with hundreds of thousands of other galaxies.
It's like a giant cosmic web stretching out across unimaginable distances.
It's pretty incredible when you think about it.
And to think, We used to believe that galaxies were the largest structures in the universe.
Right, and then we discover superclusters,
Like the universe just keeps getting bigger and bigger.
always pushing the boundaries of what we thought was possible.
Speaking of the Milky Way, it's just one of billions of galaxies out there.
Billions, yeah, each with its own unique collection of stars, gas, dust, and dark matter.
And those galaxies come in all sorts of shapes and sizes, don't they?
They do. Spiral galaxies like our own, elliptical galaxies, and even irregular-shaped ones.
That's a real cosmic zoo out there.
It's beautiful, the diversity of it all.
Now, within these galaxies, we find stars.
Some of which are absolutely colossal.
Talk about big.
I mean, you've got stars like UY Scuti, for example.
UY Scuti. That's
Yeah.
so special about that one.
It's a red supergent star, and it's so large that if it were placed at the center of our solar system,
Okay, let me guess. It would be bigger than our sun.
way bigger. It would extend beyond the orbit of Jupiter.
Seriously. That means it would engulf what? Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars,
Jupiter, too.
Jupiter too. That's insane.
It really puts the size of our sun into perspective.
Our sun suddenly seems kind of small.
And then you've got giant planets like Jupiter and Saturn in our own solar system.
Those gas giants are massive compared to Earth.
They make Earth look like a tiny speck of dust.
And Earth is considered a large terrestrial planet.
It is, larger than Mars or Mercury, for example.
Okay, so not a gas giant, but still pretty impressive.
Our home planet, definitely something to be proud of.
Speaking of big things on Earth, the blue whale is the largest animal ever known to exist.
They are truly magnificent creatures.
I've seen pictures, they're just, wow.
Blue whales can reach lengths of over 100 feet.
100 feet, that's longer
A
than...
Boeing 737 airplane.
And they weigh over 200 tons.
That's heavier than about 33 African elephants.
It's hard to even fathom something that massive living on our planet.
It really is. It's awe-inspiring.
Speaking of elephants, the African bush elephant is the largest land animal alive today
That's right. They can measure 10 to 13 feet tall at the shoulder.
and weigh up to 6 tons.
Amazing creatures known for their intelligence and their social complexity.
And of course, their size.
You can't miss that.
And while they're no longer around, we can't forget about the dinosaurs.
Especially those colossal sauropods like Argentinosaurus.
They were absolutely massive, weren't they?
Argentinosaurus is estimated to have reached lengths of over 100 feet.
And weighed over 70 tons.
Just imagine encountering one of those giants lumbering through a prehistoric forest.
It would be both awe-inspiring and terrifying, I think.
Definitely an experience you wouldn't forget.
Now, we've talked about giant animals, but what about plants and fungi?
Ah, yes. Trees like the giant sequoia and coast redwood are some of the largest organisms on Earth by volume.
Those trees are just incredible. I've seen pictures of people standing next to them.
They look like ants compared to those giant trunks.
Like the General Sherman tree, that's a giant sequoia in California, right?
That's right. It's the largest tree on Earth by volume.
Over 275 feet tall and with a circumference of over 100 feet at its base.
It's simply breathtaking to stand in the presence of such a majestic giant.
You know, you mentioned earlier that we used to think galaxies were the largest structures in the universe.
And then we discovered superclusters.
But it's amazing to me that something as seemingly simple as a fungus can actually claim that title.
It really highlights the interconnectedness and complexity of life on Earth.
What kind of fungus are we talking about?
The Armillaria ostoia.
Armillaria ostoia.
It's a type of honey mushroom.
A mushroom. Seriously.
Seriously, this massive fungal network spans over 2,000 acres in eastern Oregon.
2,000 acres?
Yeah.
That's like you could walk for miles and still be within the same organism.
Exactly. It's a stark reminder that size isn't always obvious.
And that some of the most impressive life forms might be hidden right beneath our feet.
It's a humbling thought, isn't it?
It really is. This whole conversation has been a roller coaster of scale, from the infinitesimally small to the unimaginably large.
It makes you wonder about our own place in all of this.
It's a humbling experience, to say the least.
When you consider the vast range of sizes we've just explored,
From the Planck length to the observable universe.
it makes you realize just how much there is out there that we're still discovering.
It's both terrifying and exhilarating.
Absolutely. To think about how much we don't know, how many mysteries are still waiting to be uncovered.
But that's also what makes it so exciting to be alive in this time of scientific discovery.
I completely agree. Every new discovery opens up more questions, more avenues to explore.
More opportunities to expand our understanding of the universe and our place within it.
Precisely. It's a never-ending journey of discovery.
Yeah, it really does make you think, huh, Like, what does it all mean for us?
Right. Like when you look at the grand scheme of things,
Yeah.
does knowing about the vastness of the universe make our problems seem smaller? Or does it make you appreciate the preciousness of life even more?
I think for me, it's a bit of both.
Yeah,
It's humbling for sure,
it is.
realizing just how small we are in the grand scheme of things,
Right.
but it also makes me feel more connected to everything around me.
I can see that.
Like we're all part of this incredible cosmic web,
That's a beautiful way to put it.
from the tiniest subatomic particle to the largest supercluster.
We're all connected.
And it's not just about size and scale. It's about
The interconnectedness of everything.
exactly the way the laws of physics govern everything from the smallest atom to the largest galaxy.
It's mind-blowing when you really think about it.
It really is.
Yeah.
It makes you realize that we're not just observers of the universe.
We're participants.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we're made of the same stuff as the stars.
that's right.
And the atoms in our bodies were forged in the hearts of ancient supernovas.
Pretty amazing, right?
It's incredible. And it just highlights the importance of curiosity and exploration.
I couldn't agree more.
The more we learn about the universe,
From the smallest particles to the largest structures.
the more we learn about ourselves and our place in it all.
And who knows what incredible discoveries are still waiting out there.
Right. Like we've only just scratched the surface.
Exactly. There's so much more to explore.
Well, that brings us to the end of our deep dives into the fastest, smallest, and biggest things in the universe.
What a journey it's been.
I don't know about you, but I'm feeling a renewed sense of awe and wonder about the universe.
I feel it too.
It's just incredible to think about all the amazing things that are out there.
And to know that we're a part of it all.
Absolutely. And remember, this deep dive has only scratched the surface.
There's a whole universe of fascinating facts and discoveries out there.
So keep that curiosity alive
Keep asking questions.
and never stop exploring the world around you.
Who knows? You might be the one to make the next incredible discovery.
About the fastest, smallest, or biggest thing in the universe.
And on that note,
Until next time,
keep looking up.
and keep diving deep.